Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here. So Jean Pascal defeats Badou Jack by a split decision to retain his WBA regular light heavyweight title. As expected, this was an extremely good fight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Both guys had their moments, some knockdowns, some good exchanges and good drama. Really good fight. Credit to both men for putting on a hell of a show. And that's one thing I think we all expected going into this fight. We all expected it to be good and a fun, entertaining fight, and that's exactly what it was. Going into this bout, I actually picked Badou Jack to win this by a unanimous decision, but that wasn't the case, so credit to Jean Pascal. I've seen a lot of people debate the scoring in this fight. I personally didn't score it, I've got to say, but, from watching it, it looked fairly close to me. I felt Badou Jack did enough, personally, but I never scored it round by round, so I'm not outraged by the decision. I would have to really score it to, share my thoughts on that. But yeah, it was a really good competitive fight, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this fight turned out the way I expected, in one aspect at least, and I mentioned this in my live stream I done yesterday, and that was the fact that Jean Pascal is a very quick starter, and Badou Jack is a slow starter. Badou Jack tends to warm into a fight, and he finishes strong, whereas Pascal starts quick but fades, and that really played out in this fight. I felt Jean Pascal started quite well, he was throwing some big punches, he was more aggressive, and he was winning rounds early on. He dropped Badou Jack in round 4, and he started really well, but sort of round 6 onwards I felt Badou Jack started to warm up, he started to come back into the fight, he started to stamp his authority, and he was landing good shots of his own. And he actually finished this fight really strongly. He hurt Jean Pascal quite badly in round 12, and he dropped him, so he finished this fight really strong. In my opinion, it was a fight of two halves. I felt Badou Jack done the slightly better work, and I felt he done enough, but like I said, I wasn't scoring it round by round, so I'm not going to scream robbery. It was a very close fight and very competitive, but if I had to give it to anybody, I would have given it to Badou Jack, but that's just my opinion. Like I say, I didn't score it round by round, so there we go. But yeah, credit to both men. They put on a hell of a fight. They really went for it. And as a boxing fan, I really enjoyed it. And, these two fighters, they've always, gone out there and tried to fight the best. Jean Pascal, his resume, win, lose or draw, is extremely stacked. I mean, look at the names on his resume. Bernard Hopkins twice, Sergey Kovalev twice, Chad Dawson, Dimitri Bivol, Marcus Brown, Badou Jack, Carl Froch, Lucien Butte. He's fought all of these guys, man. Win, lose or draw, he's fought some great competition. And even Badou Jack, Marcus Brown, Jean Pascal, George Groves, James DeGale, Anthony Durrell, Nathan Cleverly. He's fought some really good guys himself, so these two guys have always shown a willingness to fight top competition, and they always come to bring it. So I've got a lot of time for both of these fighters, and I'm not surprised they put on a really good fight. I'm not surprised at all. And I've got to say, considering where both guys are at in their careers, if we are discussing future fights, I think a rematch makes a lot of sense, because at this stage, I don't really see these guys posing any threats to the likes of Beterbiev or Bivol, to be quite honest, but the fight was good enough and close enough where they could rematch. So me personally, I would like to see a rematch between Badou Jack and Jean Pascal. That's what I would like to see anyway. And, for me, this really should have been the main event. It was the most competitive fight on the card by far, on paper at least, and it played out that way. Certainly a better fight than Gervonta Davis versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. So, as far as I was concerned, this was always the real main event. This was the fight I was looking forward to, and it really delivered. It really did. So, credit to both men. And, Jean Pascal, what an Indian summer he's had in his career. I mean, after he lost to Bivol, I thought he was completely done, to be quite honest. If somebody told me at the end of 2018 that Jean Pascal would go on to be a WBA regular champion, I would laugh at them, to be quite honest. especially considering he's beaten Badou Jack and Marcus Brown. You know, both fights, if you asked me about those fights at the end of 2018, I would say Jean Pascal has no real chance there. But yeah, hell of a comeback for Jean Pascal. You know, 2019 has been the year of Indian summers in fighters' careers. I mean, Nonito Donaire himself had a really good Indian summer, you know. He obviously gave Naoya Inoue a really tough fight. And, you know, he put himself back up there in the last sort of couple of fights. And even now, Nonito Donaire is in position to fight for the WBC bantamweight title. So, yeah, a year of a veteran, 2019. But there we go. Really good fight between Badou Jack and Jean Pascal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Share your thoughts below. How did you score it? Did you think Jean Pascal did enough? Or, like me, do you think Badou Jack edged it? Share your thoughts below. Peace.